Hello family, welcome back. I'm Sir Ashley, and in this video I'm going to give you this month's housing market update and talk about home sales, hedge funds buying a lot of homes and their impact on the market, as well as lumber prices, rental rates, and new FHA home rules that will help people with student loans. We're also going to talk about what the Federal Reserve said just last week concerning interest rates and an update on banks lending money. These are some very important updates, and it's been a very hectic June for the housing industry. So be sure to stick around and watch this video in its entirety so you can be caught up to speed. Let's get into it. Before we get started, please do me a huge favor and hit that like button. A lot of work and research goes into these videos, and by you hitting that like button and leaving a comment, it allows YouTube to know that I'm providing you valuable content and will show this video to more people looking for similar content. On this channel, we talk all things real estate and money, and there are some videos concerning Charlotte. If you're not interested in Charlotte, you can skip over those videos, but please consider subscribing if you are interested in any one of those things we touch on. All right, we have a lot to tackle, and I don't want to take up too much of your time, so let's jump into it. On June 22nd, the National Association of Realtors, NAR, put out their home sale numbers for the month of May. And they are as follows. Home sales are down almost a complete percentage point from this time last year. And that's the fourth straight month that the number of home sales have dropped. Now, home sales were down in February and March because we had inventory levels at all-time lows. But since then, almost 200,000 more homes hit the market and became available. But we are continuing to see a decline in home sale numbers. In that same report, the National Association of Realtors reported that the median price of existing home sales was $350,000. That's an almost 24% increase from 1 year ago. To be specific, it was 23.6% increase year over year. That is an insanely high number, and if you've owned real estate in the past year, congratulations. Cheers to you. Now, Lawrence Yun, Realtors chief economist, said that sales are essentially returning to their pre-pandemic activity, but the lack of inventory continues to be an overwhelming factor in holding back home sales. But also, failing affordability is squeezing a lot of first-time home buyers out of the market. We're also going to touch on what is squeezing out a lot of first-time home buyers later on in this video as well. But Lawrence believes that the increased purchase price is causing a lot of home buyers to stay on the sidelines. Now, for the past few months, you heard me talking about lumber and how prices have been skyrocketing, but last month they did go down, and that trend is continuing. Lumber has decreased almost 40% over the past year, from the high of almost $1,700 to right now it's around $900. That is the largest decrease on record. Now, you could argue that you could have the largest decrease on record because they're at record highs to begin with. Now, I'm debating on putting out a video solely dedicated to lumber and the reasons why for those crazy spikes in their prices. If you'll be interested in such a video, please leave a comment and let me know. But hopefully, with the decline in lumber prices, that will allow builders to buy more lumber and build more homes. Additionally, with the decrease in lumber prices, hopefully it allows builders to price their homes more reasonable so first-time home buyers can afford them. Is that too much to ask for? I guess we'll see. Let's move on and talk about mortgage applications. Mortgage applications increased 2.1% from 1 week earlier, according to the data from the Mortgage Bankers Association. But whenever you see headlines talking about increases or decreases in the mortgage applications, or any headline news for that matter, you need to dive in and look at the data to make sure that it corresponds with what they're trying to tell you. So yes, mortgage applications as a whole is up this past week, but that's largely due to refinancing applications being up. And when you look at the unadjusted index for purchased home mortgages, that actually decreased 1% compared to 1 week and is down 14% compared to the same week last year, which is kind of hard to do because this week last year, we couldn't really sell real estate, or we're just getting back into the swing of things as far as being able to sell real estate. So the sheer fact that we are down 14% in mortgage applications from this time last year shows just how anemic mortgage applications are. Mortgage rates also increased this past week, and the 30-year fixed rate rose to 3.18%. And that's the highest level in a month. Now, government purchase applications drove most of last week's purchase applications. Government purchase applications are FHA loans, VA loans, and USDA loans. And I see that trend continuing to occur. The government is doing everything in their power, in my opinion, to prop up the housing market and try to bring out demand. But their results are so-so at best. Let me explain. You see, the Federal Reserve, which isn't actually part of the government, came out last week and said inflation is running hotter than they initially expected. And for the past 4 to 6 months, the Federal Reserve and Jerome Powell said that inflation is transitory and doesn't expect interest rates to rise until 2024. Well, last week he changed his tune and said that there will probably be a couple interest rate increases in 2023, but 2 other top officials at the Fed said that they expect interest rate increases in 2022. And the government knows that pricing is at an all-time high, and the only way to keep housing relatively affordable for most Americans is to keep interest rates near historic lows. And if interest rates do increase, that's going to price out even more Americans out of the home buying market. So the government is doing everything they can to allow potential home buyers to be able to qualify for a mortgage. The government just made it significantly easier for buyers with student loan debt to use an FHA loan to buy a home. And if you want a full breakdown of this new rule change, go ahead and check out this video right here where I go in depth and talk about how you can benefit from this new rule if you have student loans and want to use an FHA mortgage. I strongly encourage you to go ahead and watch that video. Now, before we talk about Wall Street and them jumping into the single family house business, let's first talk about the cost of renting a home. For the past year and a half, I've had people text, call, email, which I do appreciate, but they've been calling to tell me they're going to rent and wait for the housing prices to come down. And the people calling me, telling me what their plans are, they're also telling me that there's going to be a huge housing crash. And right now, I kind of feel sorry for them because they got caught up in the clickbait headlines and the videos that predicted a crash. You see, those people that were putting out all these videos talking about a housing crash and talking about doomsday scenarios, they were playing on people's fears and reinforcing what those people actually wanted to believe. But there isn't a housing crash anywhere on the horizon. And in fact, rental rates have increased 5.4% in the past year. And it's only going to get worse because news broke this week that Blackstone, a national hedge fund, has joined the real estate party. And they've basically become landlord of 17,000 single family homes, or to put it in monetary terms, they just bought $6 billion with a B dollars worth of real estate. Now, this isn't new. Wall Street and hedge funds have been betting on the housing market since the Great Recession. You see, right now you have the opportunity to buy a home. Yes, prices are high, but you're able to lock in a 30-year fixed mortgage. And with rent, there will be increases every single year. And because there's a lot of Wall Street and hedge fund landlords out there right now, you know that they're going to increase that rent because they're only concerned with one thing: return on investment. Let's quickly talk about getting a mortgage and if it's easier or harder to get approved. This is where I really need your help and your input. Please let me know your experiences in the comment section. If you're in the process of buying a home or thinking about buying a home, has it been hard or has it been easy to get a mortgage? I ask this question because I'm getting conflicting information. Several of my mortgage broker friends and colleagues have told me in the past 2 weeks that they've had a more difficult time getting people approved for a mortgage. And in fact, one of them said that one client was pre-approved, but their pre-approval lapsed because they couldn't find a home in their time frame. But when they went to reapply, they didn't get approved because lenders changed the guidelines and rules, and now they're not able to get a mortgage for a new property. I know some of you may be thinking, well, something may have changed regarding their financial situation. Maybe they got a new credit card or bought a new car. But I talked to my lender colleague and they said nothing changed regarding their application. They didn't get any new lines of credit. Everything was exactly the same and they got denied for a mortgage. Yet this report from MoneyWise on June 16th is saying that it's easier for people to get mortgages nowadays. And this article was before the news broke regarding the new student loan guidelines for FHA loans. So please, type in the comment section and tell me your experiences and if it's been more difficult or easier for you to get approved for a mortgage. Be sure to hit that like button and leave a comment. And if you want real estate market updates and info about money, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that bell icon. I'm Sir Ashley. Talk soon.